today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
A Bangladeshi court has denied bail to prominent Hindu leader Chinmoy Krishna Das Brahmachari. He was arrested on sedition charges Monday evening and sent to prison. The incident triggered protests by community members in various locations, including capital Dhaka and the port city of Chattogram. Over in India, political parties from across the spectrum have slammed the arrest and the subsequent denial of bail. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's PTI has called off its Islamabad protest for the time being, following government crackdown. Khan's party had to stop the protests after 6 people were killed in the unrest. The party released a statement on social media's platform X, saying it is calling off the protests for now. The protests ended following a day of clashes between security forces and protesters in the city's red zone. They resulted in the party leadership's hasty retreat. The late-night retreat by the PTI leadership, including Imran Khan's wife Bushra Bibi, came after the latter was heard telling the protesters to go home, have dinner and return tomorrow. China's Defense Minister Dong Jun has been reportedly placed under investigation for corruption, becoming the latest official to fall in a sweeping crackdown on graft in the country's military. If confirmed, Dong would be the 3rd Chinese defense minister in a row to fall under investigation for corruption. A former Navy commander, he was appointed defense minister in December following the surprise ouster of predecessor Li Shangfu, just 7 months into the job. According to Beijing state media, Li was later expelled from the ruling Communist Party for offences including suspected bribery. He has not been seen in public since. A US brokered ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah has come into effect at 4 a.m. local time. The deal brings a halt to the almost 14 months of Hezbollah-initiated fighting across the northern border. The agreement, which was not published ahead of the deal coming into effect, reportedly provides for a 60-day transition period. During this period, the IDF will withdraw its forces from southern Lebanon. The Lebanese army will deploy some 5,000 troops to the south of the Litani River, including at 33 posts along the border with Israel. And Hezbollah forces will leave southern Lebanon, and its military infrastructure will be dismantled. Meanwhile, dozens of Israelis thronged a major highway in Tel Aviv Tuesday night, protesting for the return of the hostages. This as the country awaits the news of a potential ceasefire in Lebanon between Israel and Hezbollah. Around 100 hostages are still being held in Gaza, at least a third of whom are believed to be dead. Most of the other hostages Hamas captured in the October 7th attack were released during a ceasefire last year. Take a look.
I'm calling all the leaders around the world and also Trump. We still got their hostages that are alive. We need to bring them all back home. Do everything to put a pressure on Netanyahu that he will do a hostage deal.
Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes hit Beirut early Wednesday hours before the ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah was set to begin. The ceasefire, which began at 4 a.m. local time Wednesday, marks the first major step towards ending the region-wide unrest triggered by Hamas's attack on Israel on the 7th of October 2023. Over in the US, President Joe Biden has called the Israel and Hezbollah ceasefire agreement good news. Biden expressed hope that the pause will be a catalyst to also end the war in Gaza. He stressed that Israelis reserve the right to quickly resume operations in Lebanon if Hezbollah breaks the terms of the truce. He also added that the deal between Israel and Hezbollah was designed to be a permanent cessation of hostilities. Listen in.
We're determined this conflict will not be just another cycle of violence. And so the United States, with the full support of France and our other allies, has pledged to work with Israel and Lebanon to ensure that this arrangement is fully implemented, the agreement totally implemented.
Meanwhile, India has also welcomed the US-brokered Lebanon ceasefire deal, saying it has always called for de-escalation, restraint, and return to the path of dialogue and diplomacy. New Delhi hopes these developments will lead to peace and stability in the wider region. Over in Western Europe, French President Emmanuel Macron has also welcomed the ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, saying the agreement marks a quote-unquote new page for Lebanon. He said the agreement is the culmination of efforts undertaken over many months with Israeli and Lebanese authorities in close coordination with the United States and under the impulse of President Joe Biden. Speaking in a video message, Macron said restoring Lebanon's sovereignty also depends on ending the presidential vacuum in the country. A joint statement of G7 foreign ministers is set to avoid mentioning the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This comes despite an effort by the Italian hosts to find a common position on it. Italy, which currently chairs the G7, said on Monday it wanted to try to forge a common position about the ICC arrest warrant at a two-day meeting it hosted, which ended Tuesday. A draft of the final statement due to emerge from the discussions, reviewed by Reuters, does not directly name the ICC and its decision. Russia has expelled a British diplomat who worked at the embassy in Moscow. The Kremlin has accused him of spying, marking the latest blow to the two countries' worsening diplomatic relations. Russia's foreign ministry alleges that the British diplomat intentionally provided false information to enter the country as a cover for espionage work, thereby violating Russian law. Hitting back, Downing Street has denied the allegations that a British diplomat expelled from Russia was indeed a spy. Over in the U.S., Texas Governor Greg Abbott and former acting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Tom Homan visited the Texas-Mexico border to show appreciation to border officials and serve Thanksgiving meals. Abbott and President-elect Donald Trump's new border czar Homan praised the men and women of the Texas Texas National Guard and the Department of Public Safety for their work in Eagle Pass and Edinburgh as a part of Operation Lone Star. It is Zuman's first trip to the border since his appointment by Trump. He blamed the Biden administration for an immigration crisis and also vowed to fulfill Trump's planned mass deportations. And here's what the Texas governor had to say.
The cavalry is here, quite literally with us here today. And I'm proud to introduce someone who is going to lead that effort. That is the incoming border czar, Tom Homan.
Over in Chile, the prosecutor's office has launched a preliminary investigation of sexual harassment complaint against President Gabriel Boric. The news comes after the president's own lawyer revealed the contents of the accusation for events that allegedly occurred more than a decade ago. The confirmation comes shortly after Boric's lawyer issued a statement in which he said that the 38-year-old president was quote-unquote a victim of systematic harassment via email by a woman. The lawyer went on to accuse the woman sent dozens of emails that included, in addition to personal messages, several images of explicit character not requested or consented. Over in Albania, opposition lawmakers and their supporters blocked the capital's main streets for hours together on Tuesday. They are accusing the government of corruption and demanding it to be replaced by a technocratic caretaker cabinet until the 2025 parliamentary elections. Hundreds of activists blocked traffic at Tirana's main intersections, accusing the Socialist Party of Prime Minister Edi Rama of corruption, manipulating earlier elections and usurping the powers of the judiciary. Hundreds of police officers were deployed to protect government buildings and kept streets clear for traffic and preserved order. They used water guns mounted on trucks to keep protesters away from the City Hall and Wilson Square, and tear gas in at least one case. Very interestingly, a suspect wanted in the US for 2 bombings in the San Francisco area has appeared in a London courtroom Tuesday after being captured following a 20-year run from the law. 46-year-old Daniel Andreas San Diego, one of FBI's most wanted fugitives, was arrested Monday in Northern Wales. He was held in custody after the court appearance in Westminster Magistrates Court and faces extradition. Diego is charged in the US with planting 2 bombs that exploded about an hour apart on the 28th of August 2003 on the campus of a biotechnology company in California. Not only this, he is also accused of setting off another bomb at a nutritional products company in California only a month later. A museum honoring survivors of sexual violence has opened its doors in Kosovo. It has been founded by former President Atifete Yayaga, remembering the victims of the 1998-99 war in the country. Survivors of sexual violence continue to face stigmatization even 25 years after the end of the war in Kosovo. For perspective, the 1998-99 war in Kosovo, then a Serbian province, ended after a NATO military intervention that forced Serbia to withdraw its forces. The United Nations ran the territory for 9 years before Kosovo in 2008 declared independence, a move that Serbia doesn't recognize still. A strong earthquake late Tuesday struck Japan's north-central region of Noto that's still recovering from a deadly quake earlier this year. The country's Met Agency said a magnitude 6.4 quake struck just off the western coast of the Noto Peninsula at a depth of 10 kilometers. It said there were no tsunami dangers. Additionally, there have also been no immediate reports of injuries or damages. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck the same region on January 1st this year. And sadly, it killed more than 370 people and damaged roads and other infrastructure. India has circulated a proposal for the financial agreement to implement a global legally binding instrument on phasing out plastic pollution at the ongoing INC5 session in South Korea's Busan. India's proposal suggests that the parties shall establish a mechanism for providing financial and technical assistance. This includes the transfer of technologies to developing countries from developed countries. The move is aimed at achieving a quote-unquote just transition towards sustainable production and consumption of plastics.
Madhya Pradesh, the heartland of India. With 1,000 years of preserved history and diverse wildlife. Celebrations of art and heritage. Explore Madhya Pradesh. Join us for an interaction on investment opportunities in Madhya Pradesh. Meet us in United Kingdom November 24 to 27, 2024. And Germany November 28th to 30th, 2024. A precursor to Invest in Madhya Pradesh, the future-ready state.
Get comfy this Christmas with Pillow Pad Fold Away from JML. The multi-angle viewing stand that makes any device easy to see, comfortable and hands-free. The plush microfiber ledge holds any device securely at the perfect viewing angle. And it comes with a handy storage compartment. It's a great gift for sofa surfers. Whether you're sitting, lounging or lying down, get the perfect view with Pillow Pad Fold Away. Only $19.99 from Asda, Boots, Dunelm, Tesco and jmldirect.com.
Go on, show us what you got.
Woo!
Look at him go.
I can do better than that. Go, Yasmin!
Watch the master.
Compete in Gala Bingo tournaments for a chance to win a share of £10,000 each week. Gala Bingo, where a little joy goes a long way.
We know travel can be confusing, so let us inspire you. Welcome to Qatar. Experience it all. World-class hospitality, diverse landscapes from city to sea, and fly there with the Airline of the Year 2022, Qatar Airways. Book now at travelup.com or call 0207 580 5000. Travel Up, flights, hotels, holidays.
In the December draws, you and your neighbours could win a share of £32.5 million.
Yes, it's that time again as citizens put their doors in the draw for People's Postcode Lottery's biggest ever prize pot.
Get your door in the draw and sign up before midnight on the 1st of December.
A share of £32.5 million must be won. Is your door in the draw?
The all-new Temper Pro, our most adaptive mattress ever. Born from NASA technology, billions of ultra-sensitive cells relieving even more pressure for ultimate comfort and support. Now available with SmartCool technology. Temper, the future of sleep is here.
Over in the Far East, Beijing has handed a suspended death sentence to former Bank of China Limited chairman Lu Liang over bribery. The move marks heightened security over the nation's $66 trillion financial sector. Lu's penalty carries a 2-year reprieve and all his assets will be seized. State broadcaster China Central Television reported Tuesday. The sentence means he could be spared execution if he behaves during the period. Lu was one of the most senior bankers to become implicated in a broad crackdown on corruption in the financial sector unleashed by President Xi Jinping in late 2021. He was found to have accepted over $17 million in bribes. Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, Chrystia Freeland, has called for a quote-unquote Team Canada approach in response to US President-elect Donald Trump's threat to impose new tariffs on the country, Mexico and China. Trump is threatening to impose sweeping new tariffs as soon as he takes office as part of his efforts to crack down on illegal immigration and drugs. He said he would impose a 25% tax on all products entering the country from Canada and Mexico, and an additional 10% tariffs on goods from China as one of his first executive orders. Listen in. India's Vedanta group is set to invest $2 billion to build a copper processing facility in Saudi Arabia. The investment comes as a significant boost for the kingdom's ambitions to become a global metals and mining hub. The firm, controlled by Indian billionaire Anil Agrawal, will build a new smelter and refinery with a capacity of 400,000 metric tons a year. Vedanta also plans to set up a facility to produce as much as 300,000 tons per year of copper rods, a key raw material for electric cables. Indian automotive giant Mahindra has announced the launch of its first ground-up electric sports utility vehicles, or SUVs. The BE6E and the XCV9E have been priced at INR 18.9 lakh and INR 21.9 lakh ex-showroom respectively. These models are the first of 6 electric vehicles planned under Mahindra's XCV and VE brands, with new products set to roll out all the way up to 2028. Deliveries of these SUVs will begin in the 4th quarter of this fiscal. The SUV maker, in fact, is also revamping its dealer network in major metros ahead of the rollout of the 2 new electronic vehicles. Now to the land down under. Australia's House of Representatives has passed a bill that would ban children younger than 16 years old from social media, leaving it to the Senate to finalize the world first law. The major parties backed the bill that would make platforms including TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, Reddit, X, and Instagram liable for fines of up to $33 million. This for systematic failures to prevent young children from holding accounts. The legislation was passed with 102 votes in favor to a measly 13 against. If the bill becomes law this week, the platforms would have 1 year to work out how to implement the age restrictions before the penalties are enforced. Apple is reportedly facing hurdles in bringing its AI-powered iPhone to China. Government officials say foreign tech companies have to undergo a difficult and long process to gain approval unless they work with local groups. These comments from Beijing come as Apple CEO Tim Cook visits China for the 3rd time this year as the company tries to untangle the country's thorny regulations. It is doing so in a bid to bring its artificial intelligence offering, dubbed Apple Intelligence, to devices sold there. Cyber attacks from adversaries around the world enhanced by AI. That's the warning from a UK government minister, the Chancellor of the Duchy Lancaster, Pat McFadden, as he sets out the new daily reality of quote-unquote cyber war in a speech at the NATO Cyber Defense Conference in London. The UK government has given a special mention to Russia as a potential source of these attacks and is also creating a laboratory to stay ahead in the new AI arms race. Ukrainian government websites also experienced cyber attacks that the security services blamed on Russia in 2022. Tech giant Meta has ramped up its fight against organized crime scam operations. It has taken down over 2 million accounts linked to fraudulent activities across Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, the UAE, and the Philippines this year alone. The initiative is a part of the company's broader effort to combat pig butchering. scams, and other schemes designed to defraud victims worldwide, often through text messages, social media dating platforms, and crypto apps. For perspective viewers, pig butchering involves criminals building personal relationships with victims online before coercing them into fraudulent investments, often in cryptocurrency. Victims are initially allowed to withdraw small amounts to build trust, but are ultimately left penniless when the scammers vanish with their funds. UK telecom company Virgin Media O2 has unveiled its latest offering titled Daisy. This AI-powered bot is designed to outsmart fraudsters by keeping them tied up in conversation for hours. Daisy is the latest tool in the world of scam baiting, a strategy where scammers are kept on the line to waste their time. With a warm voice and meandering stories, Daisy is turning the tables, making fraudsters work overtime. An animated visualization of Daisy takes center stage in Virgin Media's latest advertisement campaign, which aims to show off the company's use of AI to tackle the problem of fraud. Charity Age United Kingdom estimates a fifth of all over 50s in the UK fear answering their phones because of scams. In the sports universe, India's Tokyo Olympics bronze medal winner wrestler Bajrang Punia has been suspended by the National Anti-Doping Agency or NADA for 4 years. The development comes after Punia refused to submit a sample for doping tests on the 10th of March during the national team selection trials. This decision comes after NADA had initially suspended Punia on the 23rd of April for the same offence, which led to a subsequent suspension by the world governing body, the UWW. The suspension means that he will not be able to, or allowed to rather, participate in competitive wrestling nor seek coaching opportunities overseas, should he wish to do so. Bad news for Indian cricket fans. Shubman Gill, the young Indian star who missed out in the opening test in Perth due to an injury and is now doubtful for the second test as well, that is scheduled to start on the 6th of December at the Adelaide Oval. It is a ping ball test and India would be playing a practice game on the 30th of November. However, Gill is reportedly certain to miss the game as he is yet to recover from the injury. The report mentions that Gill was advised to take a rest of 10 to 14 days after a blow on his left thumb during the intra-squad game. In the world of entertainment, Drake has launched a legal action against Universal Music, accusing the label of artificially boosting streams of rapper Kendrick Lamar's diss track against him. Not Like Us. In papers filed in New York, Drake's company Frozen Moments LLC accused Universal and the streaming giant Spotify of engaging in an illegal scheme involving bots, payola, and other methods to promote Lamar's song. Universal Music did not rely on chance, Drake's lawyers alleged. It instead launched a campaign to manipulate and saturate the streaming services and airwaves. A spokesperson for Universal called the claims offensive and untrue, adding that fans choose the music that they want to hear.
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma, but so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pamelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today by calling 0800 038 4926 and giving £1 a week to Sightsavers. you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 038 4926. Text C13 to 82727 or go online and give just £1 a week now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.